Africa, and welcome to the show today. I'm coming to you from the Lakeside Hotel in Tinapa in Calabar. I have a very special guest in the house today. She's an award-winning actress, TV personality, and humanitarian from just down the road in Ghana. You may have seen her in TV series such as Adam's Apples, a movie, A Northern Affair, or hosting her own talk show called At Home with Joselyn Dumas. I just told you who it was. I have here with me Joselyn Dumas. Woohoo! You look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
I'm loving the colors, the shoes, the hair.
We can swap because I love what you're wearing.
Okay, you know
absolutely
what?
amazing.
After the show, we're gonna do a little closet swap.
Cool.
Thank you so much for stopping by EO Now.
Thank you for having me. And it's my first time in Calabar, so
nice.
Yay!
Welcome to Calabar.
The hospitality
How are you finding it so far?
Calabar hospitality is like Ghanaian hospitality, but we take it a notch higher. I'm just kidding.
It's okay. We'll let you have that one. You've been really busy. I've been following you on Instagram and Twitter. You have a lot going on. But before we get there, just give us a quick, story about your childhood, like growing up, your background.
Well, I've always been the creative, as a child. My mom always put me, I had too much energy, so my mom would put me in like drama clubs, debate clubs. I love talking. I was always talking in class. I always got in trouble for talking too much. I don't know if I made sense then, but I talked a lot when I was growing up. And my teacher I'll be the one who would stir up noise in class. So when he comes back, he's like, "What am I going to do with Joselyn?" So then she decides to make me the class prefect, and that was the biggest mistake because it's like when I write people's names, I'm like, "I'm going to write your name for talking," and then you hear them say, "Write your name too because you were talking." It was just very. But I had an amazing childhood. I come from a big but small family. I have half brothers and sisters, but we're very close. I am my mother's only child, and she showered me with too much love, and she still does. I grew up partly in Ghana. I was born in Ghana and raised in Ghana. Then I went to school in the US, and then after that, after like 9 years of being away, I came back home, and I didn't know what to do with myself when I came back home. I worked as a paralegal in a law firm. My dad wanted me to go to law school so bad, but I knew my calling because I've always been that active child, playing Mary when I was a child in church. Always very active in entertainment. I was an entertainment prefect when I was in secondary school. So my mom knew that I had that, but she wanted to make sure that I got the right things done, and who said that's the right thing anyway, you know what I mean? So once I finished that, I was home, and then I was working, I was a bit bored. 9 to 5, okay, no big deal. So I approached a friend of mine and I said, "Hey, I'm looking to do something on television. If it's hosting, producing, I have a lot of creative ideas that I can bring on the table." And then he said, "Well, I know a place to take you to." So he took me to Chatter House. It's a production house. At the time, the host for a show called Rhythms, the other half of the host, was going to the States to school. So they wanted a replacement. My first audition was actually my first time on TV. And the rest is history.
Wow.
You abandoned me at my most vulnerable state. You don't even look at me anymore. I disgust you.
No, I disgust myself.
So let's talk a little bit about the current project. I mean, you've been really busy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the current projects that you have coming up.
Yeah, I started a campaign on cholera in Ghana because this year we were worst hit in Ghana by cholera. We had about 10,000 cases reported. I mean, that's just the reported cases. And we had about 200 deaths. So I was thinking to myself, what can I do to make the difference? I have a platform, I have following on Twitter, I have following on Instagram, I have a following. So what can I do with this following? I decided to start a campaign on social media. And the campaign was getting people to cover their mouths and saying that I'd rather starve than eat contaminated food. And the meaning, the symbolic gesture just means that if your hands are clean, you're comfortable enough to just do that. And if you're refusing something that's bad, 9 out of 10 times you go, no, thanks, So that was the symbolic meaning. We did that, and it trended on social media, Instagram and Twitter, and then I was like, oh my God, what's the next step? So my team and I have an amazing team, by the way. They're like relentless. They will work throughout the nights just to come up with ideas, together with mine. We fight, but then at the end of the day, we get it done. They said, well, let's do the market storms. Let's go to the markets, because they felt like we have sort of left the market women, and they're the ones that have the final products before we bring it home to eat. So we decided to do market storms, and we said, well, what can we do that's different from what has been done in the past? In the past, you've had people going to clean different areas for them, and then when they leave, if the people are not educated,
they can't keep it up.
They can't keep it up. So we decided, look, let's do some education. Let's do some awareness programming. So that's what we did. You know, we started with a market storm. I've been to about 4 markets at the moment, and it's been amazing. I mean, it's like the response from the market women has been overwhelming, you know, and I've been working with public health nurses from our local teaching hospital in Ghana. I've had volunteers, doctors, I've had lawyers, you know, bankers leaving their offices to come and be a part of this campaign to sort of help educate these people on the need to keep their environments clean. And it's been going very well, you know. I'm so grateful for the support from everybody, you know, even from Nigeria. You know, I've had people hitting me up saying, you know, good job, Kate Henshaw sees me, and she's like, I'm like, oh my God, you know. So it's been great. It's been great. You have a peculiar story being left at the altar, not necessarily in your white gown, but what really happened? Well, I was supposed to get married to this man and he left me at the altar. I don't want to say anything anymore. I was like, on live TV.
I love how chatty you are. Like, I just feel like I'm sitting here just listening to you. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of experience interviewing people.
Yes.
How do you deal when you're interviewing someone and they're just like, yes, no?
Let me tell you a funny story. So when I started television, you know, like I said, the transition has been tremendous. God has been so good to me. I can't even, don't even get me started. I can preach all day. But fast forward, you know, from Rhythms, I started doing a flagship show in Ghana called The One Show, which is a live show on local television, and it's Monday to Thursday. And I remember one of the episodes was talking about weddings. It was a wedding season. So there was a girl who came she actually wrote to us and said, oh, Joselyn, you know, my husband left me on the altar. I was like, oh my God, that's a good story. We can actually, there's other people out there who are, I mean, as a host, you always think of who you're going to inspire, you know, with your interviews. So I said, oh, you know, do you want to come in? She said, yes, absolutely, I want to talk about it. So we invited her into the studio. She was very chatty, yabbing away. Yeah, he left me at the altar for another girl, and I was in somewhere outside Accra, and then my friend called and said, ooh, your fiancé is getting married. And I was like, oh my God, you know, it was just one very animated girl. So cameras and everything got ready. We're just sitting there waiting, and I was like, oh, so, Ifya, tell us. So what happened? You know, you have a peculiar story being left at the altar, not necessarily in your white gown, but what really happened? Well, I was supposed to get married to this man and he left me at the altar. I don't want to say anything anymore. I was like, on live TV. What? I said, right. Yes, I can understand you're hurting, but you know, you need to think of other women out there who are probably going through the similar situation that you can encourage. Let us know what you did to even sit here as strong as you are. I pray a lot. And I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? I wanted the ground to just open because I'm like, this girl gave me a good interview, a good pre-interview. So what is going on? But I think that, you know, the cameras are funny. You know, you think it's just a lens, but you think of the millions of people who are watching. So you're just like, maybe my husband is watching and he can see that my husband-to-be or my husband who wants to be,
I guess ex-to-be,
is watching, and he's going to probably think I'm hurting. So I want to let him know that I'm a strong black woman. So I'm fronting. And, you know,
like wrong time.
Let me tell you, we had to go on a commercial break quickly because my producers didn't know what to do. They were like, oh, everybody was shocked. God, but you know, you have moments like that, and that's the beauty of the job, you know, being able to go around it when it happens, you know. And hey, we do it all the time.
On Twitter, I saw that you posted recently a question: can a public figure have a day off?
Yeah.
And it sparked, you know, interesting debates. What made you post that?
Well, it's a reality. You know, sometimes what I try to do with my show at home with Joselyn Dumas is we're trying to move or veer off a little bit and talk about general topics. So what I do is I test the waters with Twitter. I have discerning followers. You know, they discern, they're smart. So I try to put little things here and there just to see what they have to say about that. Now, it's always been something that I wanted to ask people, you know, and I wanted to ask general people, not people around me who are probably friends or family who can tell me, probably lie to me. So I think that your best critics or your best critics are on Twitter, you know, those who don't even know you personally. So I just posed that question because it's something that I want to discuss on my show. And sometimes you feel the pressures as a personality. You can't leave the house without makeup on because you don't know which fan is going to see you and say, I want a picture. And you can't say, not today, because then it's like, oh, I might never get the opportunity again. Oh, she's rude. And sometimes it's the approach. People forget that certain personalities we are all human beings first. But if someone comes and just yanks you and says, hey, can I take a picture? It's like, oh my goodness, like, what's going on? And that's why, you know, it went on to ask, is it okay to even have a bodyguard at a celebrity hearing in Africa? Because we're following the West and we're doing such a good job. We're catching up. But then, you know, most of these people have bodyguards. But then, is it okay for an African celebrity to have a bodyguard? How are people going to take it? So I wanted to test what the general public's opinion is before I decide to have a panel on the show to discuss something like that. So it's something that I wanted to find out because a lot of celebrities, we all feel the pressures of keeping up appearances all the time. You know, you can't have a me time. And one follower said, a celebrity is somebody who spends their entire life working so hard, and then after that start wearing big glasses so that people will not see them anymore. And I think that's so true because
like you work so hard to be in the limelight and then you want to kind of disappear.
Exactly. So it's something that I do every now and then on Twitter. I always try to start things. I mean, apart from encouraging and inspiring people, especially girls, I also try to pick people's brains on issues that concerns, you know, the general public, the general celebrity populace in Africa.
Joselyn, it's been amazing. I feel like I could sit here and just talk to you for hours and hours and hours, but unfortunately we have to go. So thank you so much for
having me.
Coming by.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have on the show. I have to let you guys go. But
are you serious?
Isn't she fun? She's so much fun. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Go out there and do something amazing this weekend. All right, I'll see you then. Bye.
Hi, my name is Joselyn Dumas. I'm an actor and a TV host from Ghana, and you are watching EL Now. Keep it locked.